folks, let's just call it like it is. We've got a lot of sprues to unclip. I'm not sure where the final position of this is going to be, but somewhere around there-ish. Well, we'll see. Give me just a few moments to set all this up. Now, in my vlog later, I do touch on doing this. Here we are. Alright. And in the vlog itself, I say, hey, you know, we've got a lot of sprues to unclip here. But if you're watching this vlog, since it's the same day, if you're watching the vlog I uploaded today, then I might still be live, but that's not the case because I'm not going to upload the vlog until after I'm done with this. So this shouldn't take too long, right? I mean, how long does it take to unclip sprues? Hopefully not more than a couple hours. So, anywho, we're just setting this up. I still have to go get my clippers. That's how unprepared for this whole thing I was. I have not even gathered my materials. Also, let me know if this, if the music's too loud. Let me know if the music is too loud. It's kind of a liquid drum and bass thing. I was trying to do some sci-fi ambiance because a lot of this terrain is sci-fi. I didn't really find anything offhand that I was super excited about. Alright, so let me go get my clippers first. For someone who's not a big DIYer, I definitely have a bunch of tools of the trade. Oh, that's right. I was also gonna... I don't need it. I was gonna grab something else too. Alright, so... I kind of want to do these first. Oh, I know what I was gonna do. Hold on. One more thing I need to grab. I know, I was ill-prepared for this. Miniature Adventures, thank you so much. I absolutely want to stream some more games. I wanted to put this mat down, and I have a much bigger, more sci-fi mat. But this will work okay. It's kind of a dungeon-y mat. So we have a lot of stuff to unbox. Okay, let's see. If we were right here, what does this look like? If I was doing this. Oh, we can zoom in a little more, I think. Ooh, not that much. That is very cool of you, Miniature Adventures. I appreciate that. That's awesome. What do you do on your channel? Kind of the same? What games are you into? Why does this look so crooked? Okay. What if we did something like that? Again, let me know what if the music's too loud or whatnot. What do we do? We don't want to completely block out what we're doing, but at the same time, what if we do this? No, the other way. Cobalt Foundry. So we have a lot of stuff to unpackage here. But let's start doing this. So what are these called? Now I'm going to be doing full reviews on all this stuff. Functional floors, that's what it's called. Functional floors is what we have here. There are 5 sprues. Now everything you see here is absolutely a prototype. I think, are these just the exact same 5 sprues? Looks like it, just a bunch of floors. Okay, cool. All right, let's start clipping these bad boys out. What's the best way to do this? It's been a little while since I've last clipped sprues. Probably the last Dungeons and Lasers thing they sent me. I wish I was more of a modeler. And by that I mean I wish I didn't feel completely drained after just the most mundane modeling task. I should get my file and stuff too. Because we do want these to look pretty good. How good day, my friend. How are you? Do you DIY stuff? Are you a modeler? Do you assemble and paint miniatures and terrain yourself? Right now we're working on some functional floors. I'll try to get more in the screen. I'm just cleaning up some edges here. But I don't want to take any chunks out of the piece itself. Yeah, that file's not the best. Ooh, I hate that sound. Alright, we can't spend a million years on a single piece. Oh my gosh, you got the 3rd edition of Descent? Very cool. I like how it looks tiered, like 3D. Obviously, a game with miniatures is 3D, but the fact that they had elevations, that's the word I'm looking for. I own both 1st and 2nd edition Descent, but I'll be honest, I haven't played either of them. And I have so many of those 2nd edition lieutenants. It's like a shame. They're all mostly still boxed in those clamshell clear plastic packaging. But that's cool that you paint miniatures for gaming. really just need to get all this stuff clipped. I'll clean them up later. I just really need to get them clipped because their Kickstarter for all this stuff is gonna go live sometime after the new year. They sent this stuff to me way in advance, which thank gosh, because there's a lot to unclip here. I don't think I've ever did I unclip Dungeons and Lasers live before? I can't remember. Or if I did, maybe I just did a recording. A reimagining. Kind of like a sequel to the Descent system. Yeah, very cool. What is that whole universe called? Terranoth? All of the old Fantasy Flight stuff. Like Rune Wars. Do you remember Rune Wars? And then the newer editions of Battle Lore, all that stuff. I also got one of those deck building games. It was the, I think it was it the Warhammer Quest deck building game that Fantasy Flight, when they lost the GW license, did a different theming for it in their own Terranoth universe. You know, I've often thought, Leonardo, of doing a a board gaming ASMR situation. But I think I talk too much, and my voice is a little grating for that. Hal, did you play first or second edition Rune Wars? First edition had the 3D mountains, which was so freaking cool. Heroes of Terranoth. Yep, there you go. I got that, and I got the playmat for it too. I still have yet to crack it open. And it's so funny because I'll get all these games and never play them, just like the 40K miniatures game that Fantasy Flight put out called Forbidden Stars. Did you ever play Forbidden Stars? Are you more of a sword and sorcery fan, or do you ever dabble in sci-fi? Because Forbidden Stars, I picked that up and hadn't played it, and then apparently it's kind of sought after now, and I'm like, you know, it'll be news to me, like, what? Wow, really? It's sought after? And it's still like a new game to me, like on my shelf right now. I would love to get that played though. Hal, do you have any Coffin Box Fantasy Flight games? Wait, well, you said you played first edition Descent, so yeah. Wait, did you say that? Yeah, you said first edition was good, so you must have played first edition Descent in the Coffin Box. I think StarCraft was a Coffin Box game too, and Chaos in the Old World. Good, you play everything. See, I'm the same way. I am the same way. Like, it doesn't matter if it's a Euro game, an Ameritrash game, if it's miniatures. I've even dabbled in some Hex and Counter stuff. Yep. Was second edition Rune Wars in a Coffin Box? I know at least first edition was. Oh god, that piece just went flying. I'm trying to keep all the little pieces contained, but it's harder to do than you might think. I like these. These are the Army Painter clippers because they are slightly angled and they can get in between the things a little bit easier. But I also have an older pair of, what are these? I don't know. I don't even know who made these. I think this came in a kit with something else. But these are my old Citadel ones. I don't even know how long ago I got those, but I got those quite a while ago. Yeah, see? That is exactly what I was thinking. Oh, Christ on a cracker. I forgot to turn my notifications off. Am I even able to do that now, or is it too late? Oh, I might be able to. Yes. Okay, good. Whoops. Okay. Whew. Crisis averted. All we would need would be one Facebook chime to go off to completely ruin the mood. Yeah, second edition Rune Wars was that square box. And Rune Wars first edition, Descent first edition. I think those are the only. No, I also picked up Dust Tactics, which was also in a coffin box, and of course I picked up the fully pre-painted version of that, which I may actually use those figures when I'm reviewing this terrain. The Eternal Cathedral stuff I want to do some fantasy figures with, but the Cobalt Foundry and all these floor pieces I want to do. So how does this work anyway? It almost looks like Lego pieces. But of course we're going to have to really clean up these edges. Again, anything you see here, well, except for those two things, I think, everything else is very much prototypey. But put one of those clips in there, and then you can attach it to something else. And then you have these amazing floors, which look really cool when you look at them from the top down. I don't know how well you can even see that. But underneath is almost even cooler, because look, you can see the ductwork and the pipes and stuff like that. How cool is that? Oh, how I wish I was friends with someone who could paint. I would just hand all this stuff over to them and say, charge me whatever you want, just please paint all this stuff. And I know I can commission someone else to, ship it off to them, but no, I don't want to do that. Maybe I will, actually, in the future, because I've done that before, and it's always turned out pretty good. But I have so many other priorities right now with gaming-related things. So we're almost 2/3 of the way done with one of these. How long did that take us? How long have I even been live? What does this say? Like 20 minutes? Okay, that's not too bad. I probably need to pick up the pace though. Because I still have yet to upload today's vlog, and I still have yet to upload today's advent calendar video. And I was going to eat dinner first, but then I was like, no, I don't need to do that right now, because I did have like a pre-dinner thing while I was running some errands. So that's kind of tiding me over for the time being. I may get a pizza or something later. Clipping sprues, to me, is similar feeling to punching out board game counters. It's just kind of, I don't know, some people might find it relaxing, but any kind of tedious busy work like this, I just want it to be over. If all this could just be clipped, I would absolutely be in heaven. I'm gonna have to look and see what those poles are for. I'm not even sure what those are for. Let me know if any of you are familiar with this rampart terrain. It looks like it goes together pretty easily. I like anything that doesn't require glue. Anything that's just kind of snap fit, or, you know, let me take my hoodie off. Friction fit or push fit. That way I don't have to worry about that, at least. And I do plan on doing probably another live video, maybe tonight, but more than likely tomorrow or some other time, where we actually start working on fitting some of this stuff together for our setups for the review video. And I'm not sure yet if I'm just going to do one video with all of this stuff, or if I'm going to do a video on this by itself and this by itself, and then these new pieces coming out in the latest Kickstarter by themselves. 3 videos. Thanks, Hal. I appreciate that. I follow someone on YouTube named Tony Aguilar, and right now he's on his like anniversary vacation or something, but he does painting videos, and I really don't care about painting much, but he just has such a fun personality that it makes me, I like having his videos on in the background while I'm doing other things. But he even says that doing live videos helps him get work done. And that is so 100% true. You know what? I think these long poles may actually be pieces. I don't know. But I should probably dig these out of here. But I feel the exact same way. Because if I wasn't doing this live right now, who knows if I would ever do it and if it would ever get done. Leonardo, I know what you're saying, but the moment I start feeling even somewhat relaxed, my mind kicks in saying, you know, there's other things you could be doing right now, or you know, all the things that you have left unfinished that you need to do. So that kind of ruins it for me and just makes me want to move on. But the act of actually clipping these pieces is kind of nice, especially if I'm frustrated. It was a long week at work. It was 100% a long week at work. It was Wednesday, and I was like, it should be criminal that it's only Wednesday, because it felt like a month. But now we're at Friday, and the work week is over for me, and I'm super excited about that. Oh boy. But there's a bunch of stuff we gotta do. So we can't just sit around. What time is it anyway? 6? So ideally, I want to pick up the pace. We're almost done with one of these. I still have another one of these to do. It took, what, about a half hour? So it'll take an hour total to do both. Well, a half hour from now will be 6:50, almost 7 o'clock. if I can get done with, I don't even know how much is in those 2 boxes though, probably an unbelievable amount of stuff. I guess if it goes till 8, that's okay. But because I still have to upload today's vlog, and I have to upload today's advent calendar unboxing, and I still want to get something for dinner from somewhere that's not closed at 8, though it's supposed to be kind of snowy later, so I always feel bad if I order pizza or something and have it delivered and the pizza guy has to drive through the snow, even though I am refusing to drive through the snow because that's why I'm literally ordering delivery. And I'm like, oh, Rick, you coward. You wouldn't drive through the snow, yet you're making this poor delivery guy drive through the snow? And yeah, I get it. It's their job. But that doesn't stop my mind from making me feel guilty about it. Okay, that was it for the first one. So what do we have here? We have 10 of these 2x2 square floors. We have 5 of these 4x2 rectangle floors. And we have 5 of these 4x4 square floors. And that's all going to double up essentially. So that's actually a lot of floor space. And then we have a whole pile of these connectors, and I don't know what these are. If these are even pieces that go with this, we'll have to find that out later. And look at all these little clippings. All right, so next up, we have the exact same bundle again of floors. 5 more of these. Oh, goodness. So let's see, what else is new? Still waiting on the Iridia Kickstarter. Iridia, The Paths They Dare Tread, I believe is the name of it. It is from the same publisher and designer that did Xia, Legends of a Drift System. You can tell they love their subtitles. Xia, one of my absolute favorite games of all time. No small part to the fact that all the ships were pre-painted. And unbelievably, the figures, both the heroes and the monsters in Iridia, are also coming pre-painted. That is insane. Like sometimes when you get a niche publisher on Kickstarter, they may offer a pro-painted option where they commission somebody to paint their figures for them. But Iridia, I don't think you had a choice. I don't even think there was an unpainted pledge level. It was just you get the game painted or you don't get the game. Now, of course, with Iridia, I thought mistakenly that it was going to be like a Xia, a sword and sorcery medieval Xia, where you travel the land and you could be a peaceful merchant or you could be an outlaw or whatever the case may be. No, that's actually not the case, though Cody, the designer, said that a medieval fantasy Xia may be in the works eventually. But Iridia is going to be more of a classic campaign RPG in a box, which I'm okay with that kind of. It just means I don't know when I'm ever going to play it, because I can hardly get a game group for a one-shot, let alone a campaign. But I'm hopeful I'll be able to do, the next time I have a game night, I'm going to try to have it be a live game night. And I asked my friend Mike, who's like my #1 Dicey Depths player that I play with him for a while. It was like every week, every other week. And I asked him, I was like, would you ever consider doing this live? Like, would you be okay if I wanted to live stream one of our sessions? And he said, yeah, for sure. He was totally down with it. So whenever him and I can get together again, that's what I'd like to do. unless it's at our local game shop. Now, even if it is, I might still see if I can live stream it, because live streaming from that game shop would be so cool. But I don't know if it'll be Dicey Depths in that instance, because I want to teach Mike how to play Battlefields of Mana. And I still might live stream that, but I'll have to see if the store manager is okay with me live streaming from within the store. Yes, I think you're right, Leonardo, because they had swappable components. How crazy is that, right? And there was that extra pack you could get to have small people, like dwarves or hobbits. So the bodies were small, and you could swap them around. Yeah, good memory. So I can't wait for that to come in. Another Kickstarter that I am really looking forward to arriving is the Miniature Building Authority Kickstarter. It had a whole bunch of new, it was basically a whole village. There was an inn, there was a cobbler, there was a barrel maker, there was a baker. There was all these different medieval professions, and it's all painted. Of course, I got the pledge that was all painted. And I am going to get a bunch of new figures, too, painted, that were part of that Kickstarter. And it sounds like they believe they were kind of ahead of schedule on that, so that would be cool if that came in sometime soon. What else? The game shop that I played Dicey Depths with my friend Mike at a couple weeks ago was basically my first ever game shop. Now, when it was 2000, it was either late 2000 or late 2001, one of the two. So it was 20-ish years ago was when I first got into miniature tabletop gaming with the Mage Knight pre-painted collectible miniatures game. I remember going to Ground Zero, that's where it is, Ground Zero, Bellevue, Nebraska, and the same guy who sold me my first booster packs still works there today. He is so cool to me. You know, I was what? That was 21 years ago, so I was like 12 years old. And he's still there today. Can you believe that? He is like kind of like the co-owner / manager. And he is super cool. Always treats me beyond fairly. If you saw one of my last haul videos where he gave me like 75% off on Small Business Saturday. But yeah, so it's like on my bucket list. It's always on my bucket list to play. First it was to play Battlefields of Mana there, a game of my own design, playing that inside of the store that I became a miniature wargaming fan. That was a bucket list thing of mine. I still have not played Battlefields of Mana there, but I did get to play Dicey Depths there. So technically that is like a check off my bucket list. But to live stream playing a game of my own creation there, that would be like ultimate bucket list. Yes, Dave, good to see you, my friend. Yeah, that is the way they advertised it to me, was that absolutely with these functional floors, everything's modular, You've got the verticality, you've got the elevation. Very, very cool stuff with, you know, because with like Dwarven Forge, you can still elevate. Especially more recently, they've made going up levels easier. That wasn't always the case. It was actually a bit of a challenge to work in elevation. And that's something that I'm sure Warlock tiles will eventually have to come to grips with as well. They do have their stairs pack, but there's not like an elevations pack of stilts or something. But so you can still do it as long as you're kind of clever. But here they've got that all worked out. The floors and the walls with the columns all integrate relatively seamlessly, but of course you've got to paint it. Now, for some people that is no problem, especially painting terrain is not that big of a deal. Kind of, you know, dry brush it all or whatever. Necromunda for sure. I can absolutely see that. Especially this. Once we get into this, I'll show you this promotional image they sent along with it. I mean, just look at this. Can you see this? Like, look at that. You got all these different levels and doorways and walkways and walls. I mean, you get a whole table full of this stuff. And that would be absolutely perfect for Necromunda. There you go, Gerandus. Talking about the new cavern stuff. You are absolutely right. There is plenty of elevation there. I'm a little bit out of the loop on the upcoming Warlock tile stuff because I'll see like Miniature Market has some sets. What was one? Some kind of docks set or a wharf or something like that. I think it's part of the Caverns line with some dilapidated docks and some like barrels cut in half as rafts and maybe a little old rowboat or something like that. And I had never heard of that. That was completely news to me, but that sounds amazing. But oh my gosh, if you look at Miniature Market right now and you go to WizKids pre-orders, look at all those miniatures. They are going so hard right now on miniatures. It is insane. There's all kinds of new war bands coming out. There's all kinds of sets, which I love because, you know, I do enjoy the surprise of a good booster every now and then. But you know, random figures, but these pre-assembled assortments are just awesome. And of course, sometimes that means I'll have to get more than one of the assortment because I'm going to want multiple of some of the figures. I'll be honest, the one thing that I wish WizKids would do with all their pre-painted glory is come out with some more generic war bands. Like a war band of 6 skeletons. Like 2 holding swords, 2 holding spears, and 2 archers. And don't call them Undead Warlock of the Flame skeleton. And don't call them Grimoire, Dark Shadow, Hell-Raising Necromancer skeleton. I don't, and obviously, yeah, you can use any of their figures generically for whatever you want. But they're also, in a lot of these war bands, they are so posed and they look so like, I just want a generic skeleton warband. And I don't want to have to go third party to someone who's opened up a bunch of boosters and pulled out all the generic skeletons and buy 2 from him and 3 from this other guy and 4 from this other guy. I need about 20 of these figures, and getting them blindly and buying them third party from someone else is not cutting it. So I wish that we could get some more generic stuff. Like the Goblin Warband, that was pretty close to perfect. Was there an archer in that warband though? I think that may have been one of my complaints. There was not enough range in the Kobold Warband. Oh, so just like that, we are completely done with the functional floors. So of course we ended up with 20 of these 2x2 floor sections. We ended up with God knows how many of these. But these floor sections, again, are so cool because they look like cracked concrete on the top. Hopefully you can see that. Oops, wrong way. Trying to avoid the glare. Look at that. Look at that. Doesn't that look so good? But even the better thing is what's underneath. Look at this. You can see the ductwork. You can see the pipes. You can see the lights. Cal, how are you doing, my friend? Groups for what, Cal? For Rampart? For Archon Studios Rampart and Dungeons and Lasers and all that stuff they do? Or for WizKids? I know there's some Warlock Tiles building groups too. Okay, let's go ahead and do these next, because these are the other big thing that's new. And this is actually what I'm really excited about, because this is all the walls. So we just took a look at all the floors. Now here are all the walls. Now, of course, when they send me this stuff, they warn me that it is very much a prototype. These are not the final product. What did they say? They said the trims are slightly longer than they should be. So when we eventually start putting this together, we might come across some pieces that don't exactly fit 100%. That we'll have to trim down, and that's okay. Because again, these are just prototypes. Cal, what is your biggest complaint with Warlock Tiles? I cannot believe that you are not as crazy for Warlock Tiles. What is your biggest complaint? I'll tell you what my biggest complaint is. Well, not my biggest complaint, but one of my complaints is if I would have known that they were going to do full height walls, I would have not gotten all of those half height walls. And yeah, I know there's the expansion pack for those of us who got the half height and want the full height that comes with just walls and not walls and floors. Even though that really doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, because if you saw my Warlock Tiles Mega Dungeon build, my biggest complaint was there weren't enough floors. So if I was going to go get full height walls anyway, I would still go get the full height wall set that also comes with floors. But yeah, I would have much preferred the full height walls to begin with. Now I get why they went with the shorter walls, and it makes sense, and I'm not displeased with them. But again, I just would have preferred to just go with the full height if that's what there was. And I haven't gotten any of the angles or the curved walls or anything like that. But I will say the clips, the Warlock Tiles clips have come in so handy for me. About the colors. They're okay, but you prefer Forge and Dungeons and Lasers. About the colors, about the the paint job on the pre-painted stuff, I didn't mind the paint job too much. Of course, I will, concede that I love the look of Dwarven Forge much better. I will always be a huge DF fanboy. Which was so funny because when I posted all those Warlock Tiles review videos, people on groups were like shunning me because I dared to review Warlock Tiles. I think they thought I was switching over to Warlock Tiles because I had bought so much. But I mean, if anyone knows me, you know that I buy way too much of anything. I went to Dollar Tree and saw that they were selling role-playing game dice sets, 7 or whatever polyhedral dice sets, and I bought like 20 sets of Dollar Tree polyhedral dice. I mean, it doesn't matter what it is. If I see it and want it, I end up buying like 30 of it. 1-inch tiles for Warlock Tiles are awesome for builds. 1-inch tiles. Durandus, what do you mean? What are you saying? The 1-inch tiles, the half-height walls, or just the fact that they're 1-inch squares on the floors? Okay, now we have a bunch of little tiny pieces here that I have to make sure that I do not lose. I should have a little bowl. I can keep these little tiny bits inside of there. Okay. Dwarven Forge. Once they get all this wildland stuff done, going back to the city, it sounds like. Maybe some new city builder stuff. I'm excited about that. It's crazy to me to think that I actually haven't... Oh, God. And what did I just say? I said, don't lose the little pieces. And that one just went flying. Thank goodness I got it. I found it. Hasbro WizKids also have the same license as Starfinder, right? Yep. Ooh, I love that thought. I would love to see some sci-fi pre-painted stuff. Though I'm definitely sword and sorcery at heart, but every so often I get the itch for sci-fi. Oh, I see what you're saying. That expansion set that was just the 1-inch because everything else was 2x2. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh yeah, as I was saying, about the city builder from Dwarven Forge, because Dwarven Forge has had so many more Kickstarters after the original city builder, but the city builder was the last Kickstarter of theirs that I actually bought rewards from. After that, the Dungeon of Doom and the Caverns of the Deep, or whatever it was, I backed those for like the $10 pledge just to get some add-ons, and then even when the backer kit came out, I didn't even get any add-ons. So the last Kickstarter of Dwarven Forges that I actually got physical rewards from was City Builder. So I only actually backed the first 3 Dwarven Forge Kickstarters, but I have purchased some stuff off the web store, though I hope they're not completely done with their resin sets, because I still absolutely love the resin sets. God, there's so many little tiny things on here. Maybe I'll do a giveaway one day, because Lord knows this stuff is just going to end up sitting unpainted and unused. I have some friends who really enjoy miniature gaming that do play more sci-fi than I do and paint their own stuff, unlike me. There's a lot of columns here. That's interesting. These columns, so like, how does this actually work? Well, there are 2 pegs. Okay, so like, for example, here is a column completed. These walls, how do you do these walls then? Well, maybe you do, well, there's a peg. Do a little peg there and a little peg here. Look how cool that is. Of course, I don't have them flush, but that's very cool. Very, very cool. We have a lot of walls to clip. What time is it? Oh my gosh! Why did I think we were not making good time? We're making great time. I said I'd be okay if we were done with this by 8. And it's not even 7 Central yet. But that's no reason to slow down, because we still have a lot to clip through. I also want to play more regular board games. I played a bunch on Halloween. Leading up to Halloween was the most consecutive game nights I had played in a long time, because I did 3 game nights, all Halloween themed games. And that was fun, but I was playing like the same games with multiple different groups, which was still fun because I love those games, but there's so many other games I want to get played. I still need to get Coatl played, C-O-A-T-L. I want to play more of the Red Cathedral. That game is so much fun. I still want to play Praga Caput Regni, Gaia Project, Hallertau, and Plans of Caledonia, kind of. What was that other one? The other big heavy game. Oh, Bonfire, of course. Stefan Feld's Bonfire. What is that new Vital Lacerda game about the plague? I also want to play that. But first I need to get a copy of that. It's like impossible. It's not even out yet in the United States. But I've learned my lesson. In years past, I would be impatient and just out there grabbing even just German language editions. And that is not the way to do it. Because then what happens is by the time I actually do get around to playing it, they've released the English language version. And then I get upset that I wasn't just more patient. I told myself I was not going to clean these up, but here I am cleaning them up. But I will say, Praga Caput Regni is probably in my top 10 games of all time. I know, I'm going to throw that out there. I have played it solo, I don't even know how many times, 3 or 4 times, and I can't get enough. as soon as I finish playing it, I want to play it again. It is so crunchy. From designer Vladimir Suchi. And I love it. I love everything about it. Friendly, how are you? I am doing so well. I hope you are as well. I mean, what could be better than clipping sprues on a Friday night? I'm just happy that the work week's over. I don't know about you guys, but good Lord, this last week for me at work was felt like one of the longest, most exhausting weeks in quite a while, because we are under a lot of pressure when it gets toward the end of the year. And I'm sure that's how a lot of places are. There's a lot of end of year stuff you gotta do. Does this actually fit in like this? Almost kind of does. Some of these ruined walls kind of fit, kind of look like they could fit kind of together. Oh my gosh, I'm getting clipper wrists. What do you call it? Clipper palms. When you're holding these clippers and now it's, I mean, geez Louise, I can't imagine. Of course, I'm sure a lot of you 40K players and other miniature tabletop gaming enthusiasts who do this kind of stuff DIY all the time probably have built up a resistance to clipper hands. Awesome to hear you're doing fine. Oh my gosh. I don't know if I can even clip through 20 sprues, let alone thousands, but I appreciate the thought for sure. We have, after we get done with these, we have 2 box sets, and hopefully we can get them done. We have a little over an hour. Do you think we can make it? I think I've been streaming for about an hour, right? Yeah, a little less than an hour. We've managed to clip through all this so far, and I think that's a pretty decent pace. I'm pretty proud of that pace. For a novice, now you have to remember, folks, I am a novice when it comes to this kind of stuff. Yeah, I've clipped some sprues here or there, but I'm definitely not like some of you who could do this in your sleep. So I'd say the pace that I'm on so far for a novice sprue clipper is not half bad. What? Is this one out already? Are all these out? No, I didn't do these. Okay. Couple more little parts. And I should check these sprues too to make sure that I'm not missing any other little parts. Because some of these, you almost don't even realize are actually parts. Alright, anything left on this one? I don't think so. Anything left on this? No. Anything left on this? No. Alright, so we did a pretty good job so far. Alright, we got a lot of pieces here. There's a door frame on each of these, so we've done 3, so there must be 7 total. Jeez Louise. Oh my gosh. Friendly, which ones did you get? Did you get like the meat and the fish and the wood? Like which specific ones did you pick up? And what are you going to use them for? Are you going to use them for more role-playing, or are you going to use them as tokens in board games? Or both? They do a fantastic job, and it has always been a joy for me to pull those tokens out for more of my non-gamer friends who are, just bewildered that something like that even exists. And I'm like, all right, so now you collect 3 fish. Oh, by the way, here are 3 fish tokens. Oh, one thing I forgot to do. Let me see if I can do this now. Oh, la da 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 dee. Oh, fudge buckets. Hopefully this works. I forgot to share this on Facebook. Ooh, someone's mentioning me in their comments. What is this? Who dares? Oh, God. Little jokester. Alright, here we go. Oops. Okay. Done. Done and done. Okay, what'd you get? You got meat, skulls, coins, fish, wood, iron, stone. Oh my gosh, yes. Exactly. Exactly. I love the philosophy of use them with whatever needs them. Absolutely. I know I need to go back and get more of different kinds. I got those basic ones, and those are great. Those do cover a lot, but there's still even more. I wonder how much 7 of these sprues, how much terrain 7 of these sprues is going to actually cover. So don't forget, folks, $400 worth. That is a nice haul. That is my kind of haul. And don't forget, folks, we are going to go live again. I mean, if you thought just clipping the sprues was fun, wait till we actually start assembling all this the way we want to for gameplay purposes, for when I actually review these sets. So I'm going to do a whole nother live video where we put this stuff together and see what we can create. And I'm kind of excited, and I'm going to get out, believe it or not, I do have some sci-fi figures that are painted that'll go great with this terrain. Of course, I wish the terrain itself would be painted in time for the videos, but it won't be. But I do have some sci-fi miniatures that I'm going to put with these figures. Or with this terrain. Alright, too bad the sprues were not a different color than the pieces. That way you could tell if you missed something. Yeah, I know, right? But that would probably jack up the cost if it was multicolored plastic. Oh my gosh, you know what I am obsessed with right now? Foreground. Foreground MDF laser cut terrain. If you check my channel way back in the day, 6-7 years ago, I reviewed some foreground buildings that I put together myself. They were like the only kits that I ever felt really proud of because there was no painting involved. No painting at all, because all of the wooden parts came in pre-colored sprues. And so when you put it together, you had the plaster walls next to the red bricks. next to the shingled roof. They were all different colors, and they look fantastic. You saw those, Friendly? Oh my gosh. So, I'm still a big foreground fan, though I haven't put anything together in a while. However, now they just recently released a bunch of Norman village buildings. 1-story, 2-story, there's a church, a tithe hall, and they look freaking fantastic. And I almost went all in when I remembered I actually do still have some foreground buildings that I have not yet put together. From back in those days, I got a bunch of buildings, and I put together most of them, but I still have some. So that's something else I'm going to want to live stream once I'm caught up with all this, is I want to do some foreground building kit streams of me actually putting those together, because again, like I said toward the beginning of this video, if it wasn't for doing this kind of stuff live, I don't know when I would ever get it done, because if it was just me not doing it live, I would probably never end up getting around to it. I would procrastinate and procrastinate. But something about doing it live makes me kind of want to do it more, and it makes me more motivated to actually get it done. Which is it's so relatable, right? Because like I also said earlier, another friend of mine, Tony Aguilar, who streams on YouTube, I call him a friend. I don't know what he calls me, but he said the same thing. He said if it wasn't for painting his figures live, he wouldn't get nearly as many painted. And I 100% relate to that. Oh my gosh, that's freaking awesome, Friendly. I love hearing that. It just absolutely makes my day. And the fact that you have a daughter that you can share the hobby with, even better. 100%. And I had, in the Lego community, and I swear I'm not going off topic here, this is all related. In the Lego community, there are what's called AFOLs, and that is Adult Fan of Lego. There are huge, gigantic communities of adult fans of Lego. And it's almost kind of like Alcoholics Anonymous when you have to stand up in front of everybody and say, hi, my name is this, and I'm an alcoholic. AFOLs typically have what they call a dark age, where they were fans of Lego in their youth, and then they kind of grew up and they kind of drifted away from it, and then as adults they rediscover, wait a second, this is just as fun, if not more fun, to buy these sets and build them as an adult as it was when I was a kid. But that time period in between is known by the Lego community as your dark age. And that's kind of the same way with gaming too. And I relate to that also, Friendly, that there was a period between my youth and more recently as an adult where I was not into gaming at all. When I was like 12 years old, early 2000s, and I discovered the Mage Knight pre-painted collectible clicks skirmish battle game, that's what set me off into my journey of tabletop gaming. And I played that for several years, up until like 2004. I know it doesn't sound like a long time because it was like 2001 to 2004. Of course, back then, 3 years felt like an eternity. But then when I was in high school, I kind of lost contact with some of my more gamery friends. I really wasn't doing the whole gaming thing. And it wasn't until 2010, after I was out of college, that I rediscovered my love of tabletop gaming. And I have not looked back since. I have not had another dark age since then in tabletop gaming. Oh, hockey? Nice. Yeah. Married, had a baby. Now that, unfortunately, I cannot relate to, though many of my friends do. Oh my gosh, everyone is married, everyone has kids. And then there's Rick, has, who doesn't even have a pet. I don't even have a pet. That's by choice, though. It is by choice. Everyone tells me, Rick, you need to get a dog. And I'll be honest, I love animals. I love them so much that I refuse to get one, because when it inevitably passes away before I do, it's going to absolutely kill me. My heart will 100% be broken, and I don't even want to do that. I don't even want to go through the loss of a pet, so I'm not even going to get a pet. Friendly, I appreciate that. That is absolutely true. 100%. The reason I set an 8 p.m. time limit on this is because I still need to post my daily vlog, which, can you believe it? I completed my day 10 vlog today. That's right, I have successfully vlogged every day for 10 days in a row. Now I still have 15 more days to go, but this was a milestone for me. I've hit the double digits. And it's all recorded and it's all edited. I just need to upload it, but I did not want to upload while I was doing this live, because I'm sure it would take away all my Wi-Fi. And live streaming through my phone like this, I'm already down to like 720p quality, so I can only imagine what the quality would be if I was also trying to upload a video while I was doing this. So I do want to get that uploaded, obviously, before, and I don't know, for a shorter vlog, it'll only take not too long. But you never know, something could go wrong, and I just cannot have it not be uploaded before midnight, otherwise my streak would be over. Also, I have to eat dinner. I was thinking pizza, but we'll see. I don't know what the weather's doing out there. It was supposed to snow tonight. We're supposed to get our first snow. Technically, we got a snow like a month or two ago, just a random flurries. But tonight was supposed to be one of the more measurable snows. But so far, it's just kind of been cold and rainy. So I don't know. Like, I'm looking out my windows and it's just pitch black out there. I can't see anything. So I have no idea what's going on. If it's not actually bad yet, I may go out myself and get dinner. But if it is, then I'm just going to order it delivered. And I know we've already had this conversation earlier in this video where, yeah, I do feel guilty when I'm not brave enough to risk the roads, and yet I call a delivery person to do it for me. Used to snowboard and ride a snowmobile. Oh my gosh. That sounds so cool. In Australia. Nice. How long have you been in Australia? And where are you from anyway? Oh, I know. The shoveling is what absolutely sucks. And I'll be honest, I do have a snowblower. It's not the best in the world, but it gets the job done. But if a child and their parent or whatever comes to the door with a shovel in their hand saying, hey, my kid wants to make a few bucks, can they shovel your drive for you? I am all over that. Any excuse I can get to not have to shovel it myself. 18 years from Canada. Nice. I think Hal, I believe Hal said he was also from Canada. So we got some Canadians in here. Cool. Canada to Australia, huh? What motivated you to do that move? Was it for work or family or just for a new scene? That's so cool. I always love hearing about when people make dramatic moves like that, especially for me, where I have been here for all 33 years of my life and do not anticipate leaving anytime soon. Just mostly because all my family's here, and God, can you imagine? I moved, how far was it? Like 5 miles, and moving all this stuff. Of course, I've accumulated a lot more since moving, so it would be even worse to have to try to move all this. I don't even want to think about it. But if I was to move somewhere, it would absolutely be somewhere where there was one season all year round, warm. Or maybe 2 seasons, warm and hot. I don't mind the heat whatsoever as long as I have access to air conditioning. But the cold is what absolutely bothers me. Like, I can go outside and walk around outside and sweat or whatever, and I honestly don't like that a lot, but it is so much better to me than like when I was out this afternoon and it's freezing cold and rainy and windy, and you get that freezing rain smacking you in the face. Ugh, it is unbearable. Look at that. Oh my gosh, we completely did all those sprues. That's absolutely insane. The wife, huh? She was down visiting friends. No way. And you met, kind of hung out and showed her around. And when we, yep. Awesome. 3 months applied for a visa, made arrangements. Oh my gosh, isn't that something? Wow, well, good for you. That's awesome. Moving for love. All right, so these were all of the wall pieces. And as much as I want to play with this stuff right now, we have other things to get to. But these walls are double-sided. It's going to be really interesting to me to see how this actually works. It's this column and peg system. Now, does this go on the top or the bottom? I think it goes on the bottom, actually. So this one's upside down. So you have this kind of thing. Could you actually do something like this? No, you can't, right? Or could you? Maybe if you had some pegs you could. But if you do it like this, with these columns, and then your peg holes to keep them together. Oh, like this maybe. Now these you probably have to glue, I assume. Right? And I told myself I was not going to play with these, but I'm playing with them a little bit. Man, this file absolutely sucks. Oops. Yeah, we really need to work on this. That'll probably be the next stream, a filing stream. Okay, so that's how that actually fits in there. That's crazy. And then you put a peg in there. And then the peg goes there and goes in here. Look at that. Oh my gosh. How crazy is that? Look at that. We've already made one corner. That is very cool. Oh, of course. Now I can't get the peg out. That is very, very cool. All right, so we got to put all this away so we can start unboxing these. A P.O. box. You know, I've honestly thought about it, but no, I do not have a P.O. box at this time, though I appreciate the thought for sure, because whatever, but I would almost feel guilty having you send me something from Australia just with postage and the cost of things. I would just be 100% guilty. But I definitely appreciate the thought for sure. So I'm putting all the walls and columns in this bag. And again, we're going to do another stream where we actually put this stuff together. Okay. Now I need a little plastic baggie for all those little bits. Look at all this. So there were 7 sprues, and look at this. Look at this big old bag. All this big old bag of all those pieces. Maybe one day for sure, friendly, and I'll let you know if I ever do. A filing stream. How do you pronounce that? The Lena? Can you imagine a filing stream? Friendly, thank you so much. I do appreciate that. But of course, yeah, maybe one day. Maybe one day. A filing stream. Oh my gosh. All right, I need a little baggie for these. Okay. These in here, these are all the little pegs, though I have to say, with as many walls and columns as there are in here, I'm surprised it doesn't, maybe there's more than it looks like, but that'll be interesting to see how that all goes together. All right, so here is one of the sets. And here is the functional floors. God, the one thing about these hard plastic sets is, oh God. The one thing about the hard plastic is, oh my gosh, some of these edges are sharp. All right, in you go. And we can just dump all this in there as well. Okay, we have about 40 minutes to unbox both of these. You think we can do it? Unbox and clip both of those sets. If we go over a little bit, that's not the end of the world. All right, that's the functional floor set. Oh my gosh, it is so sharp. All right, so which one should we do first? Well, let's do this one first, because this is probably my favorite looking one of all. This is the Eternal Cathedral, which, look at how cool that looks painted. It really makes me want to, after I, you know, take all this stuff out of here, have it commissioned or something. All right, here we go. I'll be honest, I'm the same way for the most part. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? There's no way. There is no way we are going to be able to unclip all of this. Look how many little tiny pieces are on these sprues. I know there's probably some military modelers who are just laughing when I complain about the little tiny things on here, but look at all these little tiny things. Are you kidding me? It almost makes me not even want to get started on this. Holy smokes. Okay. My gosh, look at all these sprues. Well, the more I complain about it, the longer it's going to take. So let's just get started. Oh my good God. Okay. Where do I even begin with this? All right, here we go. Let's just start clipping. Let's just start clipping. That's the key to this, is just keep clipping. And, you know, I can complain and vent while I clip, but as long as we're clipping, we're making progress. The painting, yep. In the same way, though it is putting it together for me is also an issue. Clipping it, cleaning it up, putting it together, painting it. You'd almost start to question why I'm even in the tabletop gaming hobby, period. But honestly, playing is a huge part of it too. But I've heard arguments from people in the tabletop gaming community that really kind of shun people who don't put together and paint their own models. And when I say that, some people are shocked that people like that exist. But believe me, they absolutely exist. These pieces are really nice pieces, but there's so freaking many of them. And the thing that I'm already not liking about this is where the sprue meets the piece. On some of these pieces, you almost can't tell what is sprue and what is... sorry, I'll put this more down here. And what is actual terrain. Okay, is that it? There you go. Good night. There are so many little tiny parts of this that I have no idea what even some of this is. Well, we can get through some of it. We'll get through as much as we can. And then when I actually put this together for the video, I'll only maybe put together a fraction of it. The other stuff, the walls and the floors and everything, did not have all these little tiny details. Yeah, it does. And that's why I love the foreground stuff, because I can actually build those and they look nice and I can say, hey, that was me. Oh God, where the hell did that go? Well, I'm going to be stepping on that later. I have no clue where that went. Alright, so, yeah. So I do want to do some of those foreground building things live too. That's cool. I actually have seen some channels like that. Some of these people who just make amazing terrain out of virtually nothing, just anything they find. Very, very cool. Oh my gosh, see, and that's what I was saying. If we would just keep clipping, we're gonna eventually get to the finish line, because look at that, we're already done with a sprue. I don't even know if this is a piece, but I'm gonna put it in our little bowl anyways. One sprue done. Here's the kind of stuff that is in this sprue. There were just those 4 pieces and a couple of small pieces as well. But it's some of those other detailed parts that will be coming up later that I'm kind of dreading. And some of these sprue connections are not the most clipper friendly, I have to say. See, these like cathedral wall and windows look so nice, don't they? Yeah, I just want to fill up a big box with all this stuff and send it to Blue Table Painting and say, hey, Sean, can you paint this for me? Can you have one of your artists paint this for me? Friendly, did I talk about that in a video, or do you watch my vlogs on my other channel? I can't remember. I'm sorry if you've commented over there and I forgot already, because I've seen you comment before. I can't remember if it was on my vlog channel or this channel. But I showed where my Christmas tree is right now, and it is so far back in the closet that I just said, no, not this year. So no, my Christmas tree is not up this year. Unfortunately. Not that I have a whole lot of space to even set it up, but I do have a space for it that I've put it in years past. Alright. Ah, there's still so many of these things. Yeah, check it out. It is Supreme YDNAC, which is candy backwards. So it's Supreme Candy backwards, all one word. And I'm putting up a vlog every single day. Not a lot of it is gaming related, but some of it is gaming related. Nathan, thank you so much, my friend. I'll be honest, I'm really enjoying doing the vlogs more recently. You know, when I started, I was like, oh God, am I really going to have something to say every single day for the next 25 days? And yeah, at times it's been a little difficult, but recently there's been so many exciting things happening that I have not really had much problem finding something to say. You know what? I'm gonna say that yes, I do have a Christmas tree up because I have a Waterford Crystal gorgeous Christmas tree that I do put out every year. It's like 10 inches tall, and it's just a solid crystal Christmas tree, and that is up. Yep, friendly, that's exactly it. That is exactly it. Nathan, I'll be honest, I was a little bit afraid of that too. I was afraid that I was going to give up. There were some days when I would wake up in the morning and I would say, there's no effing way that I'm going to vlog today, because I just was not feeling it. But guess what? I typically after or around the time I eat dinner, I feel a lot better. I feel a lot more like okay with it, I guess. Now today, I feel like today's vlog is going to give me a little backlash because, you know me, I have very little responsibility. So I'm constantly just eating out. I don't cook. I don't make anything for myself at home. So I'm always eating out. And so when I go to the grocery store, it's not to get bread and cheese. It's to get like chips and cookies and other junk food. And today's junk food haul is absolutely massive. And I can already see the criticism in the comments and people going, Rick, you cannot eat like this. And I'm like, I know. I just got a bunch of junk food because I like variety. Not that I'm going to eat it all, but I wanted Funyuns and I wanted spicy nacho Doritos. But honestly, there's so much stuff. People are going to lose their minds when they see this. Awesome, Friendly. Thank you so much for the sub. It's just a smaller channel that I use mostly to post things like that on. Because can you imagine if I posted every single day a vlog about non-gaming related stuff on this channel? People would lose their minds. They've already lost their minds in the past. So I post more everyday things over there. Whereas this channel, I try to keep it mostly gaming and Lego related. Oh my gosh, I keep forgetting! If you ever get the chance to try Funyuns, do not hesitate. They are my absolute favorite chip of all time. They're onion ring shaped rings, but they're chips. But they're shaped like onion rings and they taste like kind of like a garlic powdery onion. Oh my gosh, I want some right now. Why did we have to bring up Funyuns? I should have brought the bag down with me. They are so amazing. I wonder if your burger rings are similar to Funyuns at all. Because if they are kind of oniony, garlicky, at least, you know, like a flavored ring of any kind. Nathan, you think Funyuns leave an aftertaste? I have not thought that. I have not thought that they leave an aftertaste. Now, they will make your breath smell like onions, so other people might complain, but personally, I haven't had a problem with an aftertaste. Oh my gosh, now I want some Funyuns. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe you're disagreeing with me. Kind of barbecue. Oh, okay. But up in Canada, you had the all-dressed chips, right? And every once in a while, we will get a limited edition version of a chip that's in the all-dressed flavor. And oh my gosh, those are so good. So you've got to be familiar with the all-dressed stuff, right? Are you a fan of the all-dressed chips? Nathan, I cannot believe you are disagreeing with me about Funyuns. They're like my #1 favorite chip. Next, you're going to tell me you don't like pizza-flavored Pringles, which is my favorite flavor of Pringle. Oh, why are we talking about chips? I am so hungry. Oops. Dill pickle. Now, I'll be honest, we do have some dill pickle flavored chips, but I have been hesitant to try them because I'm not the biggest pickle fan in the world. Nathan, you are a pizza Pringle fan? Or at least like them? Yeah. Now we're talking. Oh, dill pickle flavored Pringles? My favorite Pringle flavor is pizza, followed by, honestly, I think just the cheese. I am such a cheese fan. Like sour cream and onion, cheddar and sour cream, that kind of chip flavor is my favorite. Whether it be Ruffles or Lay's or whatever. Okay, we're actually making decent time. But again, look at all these sprues. Good God. Every time I think we're making progress, I look at this pile of sprues and just want to bawl my eyes out. Because I know that right now I'm just doing the easy stuff. These sprues at the top here are mostly just big pieces. But those sprues later down are so full of tiny little pieces. Good Lord. Place your bets now. Do you think we're going to get done with this set by 8 p.m., which is Central Time, which means in 25 minutes. 25 minutes. Do you think we can get through this? I honestly don't think so. Vegemite? No. I have heard so many negative things about the taste of Vegemite. I just don't understand. How is it even like an acceptable thing for you guys? I know it's like Australian culture, but really I haven't heard much good about Vegemite. Oh my gosh. These columns look really cool. So much cleanup on these things though. Good Lord. After I clip all these out, in order to get them to really fit with each other, I'm going to have a lot of filing to do, or just a lot of cleanup in general to do. Which again, if someone's doing this as a hobby, as a passion of theirs, that is probably no big deal. But for me, it's just means to an end. I need to get this all apart so I can record a video about it. And the more things that I have to do before the video, the longer it is going to take for me to get the video out. Alright, a couple more small pieces and we are done with this sprue. Clip, 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 clip. 5 streams of clipping, 9 of filing, and off to the painters. Yep, exactly. No way I finished by 8? Nathan, is that a challenge? Oh my gosh, I cannot believe you just said that. I cannot believe you did. First of all, you trash Funyuns, and now you are pessimistic about my clipping possibilities. I know they do take forever. They do. Oh, God. We have 22 minutes left. And we have, God, I don't even want to look. 5, 6, 7. 7 full-size sprues. So that's 3 minutes of sprue. Not to mention the smaller sprues. Yeah, 3 minutes of sprue does not sound very feasible. They do take forever. That's absolutely true. Unbelievable. When I looked at this box, I was like, oh, there's not too terribly much in there, right? But then I guess you need to look at the number by each piece where it says, oh, hey, by the way, there's 16 of these. Jeez. This box came chock full. So there's part of my review right there. Is that if you want an unbelievable amount of terrain in a single box, here you go, folks. Eternal Cathedral set from Rampart Terrain. You are going to get an unbelievable amount of terrain. I can only imagine what the price point would be for something like this that was pre-assembled and painted. I am strictly doing this as a review. Archon Studios, who has sent me Dungeons and Lasers stuff in the past, are now gearing up for a new Kickstarter launching toward the beginning of the new year for their functional floors. And they sent me some of their existing Rampart products, like the Eternal Cathedral and the Cobalt Foundry, as well as the new functional floors and their wall and column system. And it's all for the video review. To get the video review up prior to the Kickstarter going live, I'm not in a huge rush since it's like a month away, but you got to start somewhere, right? We've got to get this prepped for the video. And it's one of those things where it's like, I can actually make multiple videos out of this. So I can make this video about clipping everything out of the sprues. And then I'm going to do another video where we actually play with this stuff and set it all up. And then finally, I'll do the video review. I was thinking about splitting it up, doing one video on the Eternal Cathedral, one video on the Cobalt Foundry, but I'll be honest, I think I'm just going to do one video about Rampart terrain in general, focusing mostly on the stuff from the Kickstarter, though. Oh boy. Well, we're going to get through a decent chunk of this. Probably not all of it. Nathan will probably end up being right. I still say he's wrong about Funyuns, but he's probably right about this. And then I got to decide what I want to do for dinner. It's already 8 p.m., almost 8, and I need to eat something. I was thinking pizza. But again, it's supposed to be snowing or something. I'm looking out the window and I can't see what it's doing out there, so it'll be an absolute surprise. Either it's going to be snowing and I'm not going to want to leave the house and I'm going to order something to be delivered, like the coward I am. I know that's what I was saying earlier. I was like, I feel so guilty when the roads are bad and I don't want to go out there, and yet I'll call a delivery person to do it. And I understand it's their job and stuff, but it doesn't make me feel any less guilty. But, or the roads will be fine, and I will go out and probably, honestly, go to Taco Bell, because I have a free item reward that expires, like, tomorrow. So I need to get that used. And I don't know if any of you saw yesterday's vlog where I talk about the upcoming McDonald's menu. And, of course, this only really affects people who have a McDonald's. Or even, I don't know if they do this in other countries too, but the Mariah Carey menu is coming out. And all that means is every day there's going to be a different free item. Like on the first day, on the 13th, it is a free Big Mac with a $1 purchase. Every day, as long as you purchase something for at least $1, you can get the day's free item. And day one is a Big Mac. On the 15th, I believe it is, along with your free item, you also get a Mariah Carey McDonald's t-shirt. Can you believe that? And I'm not like a gigantic Mariah Carey fan or anything like that, but it's like a funny, almost like a meme, that you can literally get a McDonald's Mariah Carey t-shirt for free with $1 purchase. And I will be damned if I don't get that t-shirt. I will literally be damned. Yes, I know, me too. I can't wait to see how some of this looks all assembled. Friendly. You think so? I don't know. I mean, yeah, sure, I look over at the laptop occasionally, but honestly, if it weren't for you guys, I wouldn't have even done this yet. I would not even be started on this right now if it wasn't for you. So you guys deserve all the credit. not the blame. 2 hours and never finished. This is the most tedious part. Yes, it really is tedious. And my freaking hand is really feeling it. Like, these clippers are pretty good, but they're a little bit hard plastic or hard. It is like a rubber grip, but it is kind of a hard rubber grip. So it actually, and it's from Army Painter. These are actually pretty decent, but it just using them over and over again, especially right here on my finger. Oh my gosh, that hurts. But we're approaching the finish line, which is the arbitrary 8 p.m. that we set earlier. Before the pizza. I know, right? Yes, yes, I will. I will end the stream before I get the pizza. Taco Bell. Fair enough. Yep. You get a t-shirt with your McDonald's food. I know, right? Isn't that bizarre? On the 15th, you get a Mariah Carey McDonald's t-shirt with at least a $1 purchase. And on the, I believe it's the 21st, you get a beanie. You get a Mariah Carey McDonald's beanie, stocking cap, with a $1 purchase. And I honestly want them both. So I'm going to go to McDonald's and get the Mariah Carey t-shirt, and also go to McDonald's and get the Mariah Carey beanie. Because that is just the funniest thing. Imagine just walking around with this Mariah Carey McDonald's t-shirt. It literally looks like a t-shirt with her image, like sitting there eating McDonald's. Like there's a tray of food. I know you can't see me very well. Just imagine if I was wearing a shirt with Mariah Carey eating McDonald's on it. That's just so funny. Ah, a hamburger bobble. Speaking of bobbles, another clothing designer that I love, Palace. They collaborated with Harrods department store. So I was up at the butt crack of dawn because it was UK time. It was like 11 GMT, which was like 5 a.m. here. But separate from that, I don't even honestly know why I mentioned the Harrods collab, but speaking of Christmas ornaments, Palace released a bunch of Christmas ornaments. But I didn't pick up any because, again, I didn't put up my tree. Though that, if I did get those, that would motivate me to put up my tree for sure. Look at all this. Look at all these walls and columns. How crazy is that? Oh, you get cola glasses? That sounds kind of cool. I'm a sucker for novelties of any kind, collectible things. I don't know, and this is just my ignorance, but I don't know if some of you know what the restaurant is that's in America called Red Lobster. It's just a chain of restaurants that specializes in seafood, and obviously, you know, it's a chain, so it's hit or miss. Personally, I love their biscuits. They have these cheddar infused biscuits. They're called Cheddar Bay biscuits. They are so freaking delicious. But just to comment on my obsession with collecting random things, for a little bit, and I don't know if they still do, but at one time they actually sold glasses that were in the shape of a lighthouse. So, of course, I had to pick up a couple Red Lobster Lighthouse glasses, and they're in my cupboard somewhere. I don't think I've looked at them since, but... Yes! You have a set of dice you made out of resin. Oh, that's really cool! See, that's creative. Nathan! Yes! God, now you're making... Why are we still talking about food? Oh my gosh, I am gonna absolutely murder whatever it is that I end up eating, whether it's pizza or Taco Bell or whatever the case is. Look at all these walls and columns. All the walls and columns are done. Well, no, there's a whole bunch of columns here. There's a bunch of stairs and stuff too. A cup in the shape of a lobster. Nathan, I'll be honest. Have you done that? Have you gotten the the frozen Cheddar Bay biscuits that you bake in the oven? Do they taste anywhere near the real thing? That's my question. That's my hesitation. I'm hesitant because I love Cheddar Bay biscuits and I don't want to try these if they're not going to be the same thing. Oh my gosh. Unfortunately for me, my nearest Red Lobster is quite a ways away. It's like a 25-minute drive or something. Geez, some of these columns are really not the most clipper friendly. Wow, good enough to be worth it, huh? Oh, now you're tempting me. I was just at the grocery store earlier. I should have picked up some. Good enough to be worth it. The good old Cheddar Bay biscuits. Bake them yourself at home. If I do that, and if they are as good as you say they are, I'm probably going to lose my mind. Come on, what is wrong with this? I clipped out everything. There we go. Because could you imagine just being able to eat Cheddar Bay biscuits at will right in your own home? Gosh, I wish I had a closer Red Lobster. We are about to get a closer Olive Garden, which honestly I really do like for their soup. They have really, really good chicken gnocchi soup that I will seriously, once this Olive Garden finishes getting built, I'm going to be there probably every day just to get some of that soup. All right, what are we at? 8 minutes. Yeah, Nathan was right. Oh my gosh, we're not going to complete this entire thing by 8. But we got like all the walls and most of the columns done, which is fantastic because that's really the most of what I need to put together at least something with this set as an example. And the cool thing about this Rampart series of terrain kits, for those of you who are not familiar with it, they're all compatible. They all have the same peg and hole system. So I'll be interested to see how the floors work with this Eternal Cathedral outer structure. I know, pop culture is constantly saying stuff like that. You shouldn't enjoy this, you shouldn't enjoy that. People think, people who think Olive Garden and Red Lobster are fancy, let's mock them and make fun of them. For some people, going to Olive Garden might be a real treat. And I just don't get it. You have to, I have to learn to tune those people out because to me, it's very tasty. Ponderosa, why does that sound familiar? I feel like that was a thing, but I will be honest, I could not tell you the last time I heard about Ponderosa. These are big old columns. All right, I probably am going to end it on this sprue here. So, God, do I have to have another clipping session? Or do I just call it good with what I've clipped out so far? See, and I mean, I've always enjoyed Olive Garden, and I was so happy to see that they are building a new one near me. Because again, just like Red Lobster for me, it's another 25-minute drive to get to Olive Garden from where I live. And now it's going to be more like a 10-minute drive. But of course, I live way in rural southern Bellevue. I mean, I think my neighborhood is surrounded on 3 sides by cornfields, if you can believe that. We are definitely near a bunch of farms down here. So there's not a whole lot. I have to jump on the interstate, jump on the highway, just to get to the majority of the stuff I need to get to. But that's okay, it's not the end of the world. It's definitely quiet over here, that's for sure. COVID killed it, huh? Steakhouse buffet. Looking for the food filter. That was a new Jeep. I'm ready to dash something after this. I know, yes. Friendly, I cannot believe you just called it a Jeep. Can you believe that? That is insane. I cannot believe you just called my new 2021 first edition Ford Bronco a Jeep. That is like the ultimate sin. Because that is like the Broncos' #1 competitor is the Jeep. But to answer your question, I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. And if you check out some of those vlogs, you will get to see more of the Bronco. Because I typically drive it pretty much every day. Oh, see, now this is a damn shame. Some of these pieces are like breaking in half. Now again, these are prototypes, but some of these sockets, when you clip one side of them, they split in half due to the force pulling on them from the other side. It's just kind of like the plastic is a harder, more brittle plastic. Hopefully I don't need too many of those. Okay, we may end like right on time because I only have a few more little pieces to clip out of this. I know, I cannot believe you called it a Jeep. I cannot believe you called it a Jeep. One other person called it a Jeep, but he didn't know better, and he was also being complimentary. So as long as you're being complimentary, it's not the end of the world. I was going through the drive-thru at a Chinese restaurant, and the guy out of the window said, "Oh, nice Jeep," or "good-looking Jeep." And I was like, "Oh, actually, it's a Bronco." But I get it. They look similar, and they are definitely, you know, all about the off-roading. Definitely competitors of one another. Oh my gosh, my hands hurt so bad. All right, and that's it. That'll be it, folks. Look at all this. So we have a bunch of the little pegs. We have a bunch of columns, doorways, walls. This stuff is more columns. More columns. I don't even know what this is. If those are walls or decor. We have some stairways. We have some gargoyles to go on the top. We have some more little bits and bobs. But that'll be it. Look at all these sprues! Look at all these sprues we clipped. Are you kidding me? Look at all this. This is absolutely insane. And my fingers hurt like hell. But we made the goal of 8 p.m., so we did pretty good. We got through probably, I don't know, half of this. Where's the box? We got through about half of this, and we haven't touched this yet. So maybe, Michael, hello! Maybe we'll do another clipping session in the future, but in the meantime, that's going to be it for this one, folks. Stay tuned on the Supreme YDNAC channel because I am uploading today's vlog over there. And we are going to do some more live videos of putting all this stuff together. So, all right, folks. Much appreciated as always. See you, my friends, and I hope you have a good Friday day or night, wherever it is, wherever you are. Friendly, thank you. I am going to have something. It's going to be pizza. It's going to be something. Whatever it's going to be, it is going to be soon, ASAP. All right, good night, everybody.